What's going on, guys? Hey, my name is Logan Anderson, and today I'm going to share with you my predictions for the end of 2021 and the market from 2022. Let's go. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Logan Mazaneris. I currently own $4.5 million in real estate with my wife. We're on track right now to do over 6 figures in cash flow from our real estate investments, and we're on path to grow to 100 doors, 100 units by the end of 2022. So if you want to hear about our journey, be on this journey, and learn how you can do the same thing, please follow this path and let's go. All right, guys, so I'm going to share with you my predictions for the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022 with the housing market. So everybody thinks right now that the market is inflated, it's a bubble, it's going to crash. And you know what? They might be right, but they also might be wrong. But I'm here to tell you why exactly it doesn't really even matter. And so I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm doing, what you can do too, so that it doesn't even matter which way the market goes, up or down or sideways, that you can always be protected and you always can grow your wealth through real estate. And so let's talk about 2008, because everyone points to 2008 of a good predictor of what a market crash looks like and how bad it can actually hurt you, which is very true. So, but let's talk about how 2008 happened, why it happened, and the differences in what it looks like 2021. So why 2008 happened? Well, the reason why 2008 happened is that basically the lending companies, the lending institutions, the banks, the mortgage brokers, they were giving out loans to anybody, literally anybody who could get a loan. And what ended up happening was that people who got loans for homes shouldn't have got loans for homes, right? And they're also, the reason why this was also a problem is that they were also had adjustable rate mortgages, which basically means that the loan terms could change at a moment's notice. And so not only were they doing that, but they also had their debt to equity ratio super low. So you literally could get into houses with almost no money down, or low down payments like 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, which basically created this upside down equation. When all of a sudden the market did crash, well, when you only have 5% down, all of a sudden you become upside down really fast, and all of a sudden the bank is calling these notes due. And so that's exactly why 2008 happened, is basically lending. Lending basically just got really careless and started giving out loans to anybody. And that's why the crash happened. Now, let's fast forward to 2021. Lending is extremely tight right now. It's actually really hard to get a loan. And you can't get into anything, especially investment property, for anything less than 20% down. A lot of times right now, lenders are actually even making us put down 25% down. And when it comes to your home, like when you're buying personal homes for yourself, like the days of 3.5% down are like super uncommon, because what they end up doing is they end up charging you so much more for insurance that it becomes ridiculous in order for you even to put 3.5% down. So you might as well just put down the 10, 15, 20%, just so you don't have to deal with mortgage insurance. So that's what kind of looks like different. This way, the lending environment looks a lot different in 2021 than it did in 2008. Also, you got to be like the qualification standards to even get a loan is so much harder than it was back then. Back in 2008, they used to call it a fog loan, because if you could fog a mirror, they'd give you a loan. Now, like, you have to go through so many hoops, jump through so many hurdles just in order for you to get approved to get a loan. And so that's one of the big differences between why 2021 and 2008. Okay, now as far as prices go, you're right. Like, but that's where a lot of people are seeing a lot of the similarities of like skyrocketing prices, and at the peak of the market. Again, just like 2008, it was at the top of the market, and right now we're at the top of the market. But who's to say that's not going to keep on going? Keep in mind, in 2003, 2004 is also top of the market too, and it had another 4 or 5 years of legs left. And so that's what I want you to really think about when it comes to 2021, is that honestly, my prediction is that this has a lot of legs left, and we're just getting started. I believe this is just quarter one of a long game. And the reason why I say that is because the real estate market, unlike the stock market, really plays based on actual supply and demand. Okay, so like when there's higher supply of things and demand goes down, all of a sudden markets drop. Now, when there's super high demand, there's really low supply, that's when market prices rise. And right now, with home building being almost impossible to keep up with the demand, there's only one way for it to go. And that means that the demand for it is going to go up, and the supply is literally just trying to catch up. But we're already so far behind that it might not ever catch up, honestly. With our population is growing, and the demand for housing keeps on growing, but the supply to actually be able to build it keeps on going down, because number one, builders, they can't keep it fast enough, because number one, like the cost of materials, lumber, all materials keep going up, which makes it harder and harder for them to continue to build. And with the worker shortage, they're getting less people to help them, which means that even if they could build houses, it's taking them a long time to build houses. And that just creates this ever-ending gap between the supply and demand problem that we already have currently, right? And we're already so far behind, like it's only making it worse. And so that's why I truly believe that this is just getting started. The variables and all the things are just saying that like we're just getting started in this gap between supply and demand. So with that being said, what you can do to prepare for this, because I only see it getting worse. Number one, you can actually become a buyer. You can own your own home. So whether it's investment property as your second home or a primary home, like you need to own your own home, because right now the number one thing you can leverage is debt, right? And debt, and especially low rate fixed debt, becomes an asset. So again, back in 2008, when all of a sudden your rates became variable, like literally every year, every 2 or 3 years, they could change the rate on it. Right now, 30-year fixed rates, which basically means that you can lock in a rate 2, 3, 4% right now. In 30 years, that's going to have the same rate. So as people talk about inflation and they talk about interest rates rising, guess what? Your debt's not going to rise. It's going to stay the same. And all of a sudden that's going to become an asset. And so one of the things that I'm doing, I vote with my actions. I vote with my dollars. And so right now I'm buying as much real estate as I possibly can at low rate fixed debt, because I know that that's going to be an asset in the future, because our interest rate's going to rise. They have to, right? When? Who knows? But eventually they're going to have to rise. And so the more interest, the fixed interest rate that you can get, it becomes an asset, because if you get debt at 3 or 4% and you have inflation at 5, 6, 7%, you literally can just make money on your debt. And that doesn't include all the other positives of owning cash or owning real estate, like cash flow, like appreciation, like depreciation, tax benefits, all that cool stuff. And so that's the recommendation I have for you going into 2021, into 2022, is buy as much real estate as you can, get low rate, 30-year fixed rate debt. That becomes your asset. Be able to make it so it cash flows. And so if it cash flows, it doesn't matter if the market goes up, down, or sideways. Because again, the way that lending regulations are right now is they make you put a certain amount of equity into the home to make sure that you're safe and secure. And so in investment property, you got to put 20% down. And then as long as it cash flows, which means you're making an extra $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900,000 a month, then it doesn't matter if the market goes down. If you're on paper, you lose value in your home, because your cash flows allows you to be able to get through ups and downs. It allows you to weather a correction or a storm. And that way you don't have to feel like you have to sell a house but if you're investing basing on appreciation and the market goes down, well, all of a sudden you look like a loser. You look like you're going to lose money, right? Whereas if you're investing based on cash flow, it doesn't really matter if the market goes up, down, or sideways. You can always wait out the storm as long as your property is making money every single month. So that's what I'm doing in 2021 and in 2022, is I'm buying as much real estate as I possibly can. And hey, if you want to be part of this journey, then please like this video, subscribe to the channel, tell all your friends about it. And if you want help and you want to reach out and you want a mentor, reach out to me. I'll help you out. So my name is Logan. I'm out. Bye.